Welcome once again to the channel where we talk matters international education. And today we are going to ask ourselves what's the meaning of learning is personal. When we say that learning for students is personal, what does it mean? What do we mean? Welcome. My name is Edwin Maina. I am a Kenyan. I'm currently teaching in Mumbai, India. Welcome. You can consider subscribing to my channel so that once I release videos like this, YouTube will notify you. Now, when we say learning is personal, what does it mean? This is a term that is used in inquiry-based learning. Learning is personal. What does it mean? That learning will not happen until it makes sense to the individual student. That is how sensitive this issue is. That is how important this issue is. That is how important this approach is. When we are trying to differentiate learning, we are trying to make it make sense to every individual student. It is not a wonder that 10 different people will listen to a speech, and then you ask the 10 people to tell you what they understood, and everybody will tell you something different according to their understanding, because learning is personal. What I make of learning is not what you make of learning, because I come from a different context. I have a different set of experiences. My expectations of life are different from yours. And that is why we should know that when we have 15 students in front of us, 20 students in front of us, this is not just a cohort. These are individual students, and learning has to be personal for them. Now, once you have a topic, and you have introduced the topic, we try to say that you move from the known to the unknown, where you introduce something that the students know and they relate with, and then from that you start now scaffolding them to the unknown. That is a very effective way of teaching. So as you are doing that, it is very useful to keep asking many reflections along the way, many assessments along the way, so to speak, so that the students tell you what they're understanding. One of the things I do is to ask a student to stand up and just summarize what I've said. I give instructions. I say, now in the next 15 minutes, we are going to work on this task. We are going to work in groups of 3. And at the end, everyone will come here and present. Everyone will come here and do this. And then I say, so-and-so, please stand. Can you kindly tell the class what I've said, just in summary, very briefly? And they tell you, and then you realize they got it right or they got it wrong. So you must have many reflections along the way. The other approach you may want to take is to avoid the lecture method. Avoid being preachy in class. Students will switch off very quickly. You tell someone something, they remember, I think, 25% of the time, or less than 30% of the time. If you show them, then they remember more. If you involve them in the doing of that thing, they will remember 70% and above. So avoid the lecture method. You may have your notes, that is very good, but lead the students, guide the students in the journey of learning so that they are making inquiry together. Of course, in some situations, you have to use the lecture method where time is precious. You're making a presentation, it's important information, you have to brief people, and you move on. That is allowed, that is okay. But in a normal classroom setting, please, as much as possible, avoid the lecture method so that you're just talking. The students should not find you boring. In fact, we say in international schools, if you find yourself getting tired after a lesson, you're talking too much. You're doing the students' work. Don't do the students' work. It is better that you repeat a lesson instead of doing the students' work. Let them do the inquiry themselves, and then you'll give them time to reflect, time to discuss, and then within that discussion you can moderate it, and you can actually intervene and correct some of the misconceptions that they have or when they're presenting, but do not do their work. They say that good teachers show students where to look but they don't tell them what they will see. That is a good way. Challenge your students. These students are intelligent. These students can relate to things they've learned before. These students can relate to things they've seen elsewhere. So don't assume they don't know and that they're just a clean slate and you're just pumping information into them, especially for secondary school students, for high school students. Thank you very much. That is the meaning of learning is personal. You can leave your comment below just to tell me what you think. Consider liking and subscribing to my channel. Thank you very much. See you in the next one.